been 11 years since a sensation that swept the competitive gaming world by storm was released, and finally, after much hype and anticipation, our sequel is finally here, and believe me, it absolutely lives up to the speculation. Released just this past Tuesday for the PC and Mac for $60, Blizzard's Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty stays true to its roots, offering a great story, strong multiplayer, tons of new units, and the exact same great gameplay we've come to expect. Over the past week or so, I've gotten a lot of negative comments on my Starcraft 2 videos from gamers or their parents who saw the epic trailer, knew nothing of the original, and expect this to be some futuristic shooter and were seriously pissed off that they were let down or something. Well, let me just show you what all the hype's about. Here's Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty.
Hell, it's about time. Even freedom has a price.
First, let me start off by saying that if you haven't played the first StarCraft, you aren't left out in the dust. The game does a great job catching you up on everything that happens. Hell, even the installer starts explaining the backstory as the game installs. The story takes place 4 years following Brood War, with Jim Raynor wasting away in a bar on the planet Marsara, mourning the loss of his ex-would-be biatch Sarah Kerrigan, who, as we know, has been transformed into the Queen of Blades and is leading the Zerg. Tychus Finley, an ex-con from Raynor's past, shows up with an opportunity to make some money by collecting ancient Xel'Naga artifacts from the Protoss for Mobius, a Terran research company. On top of that, self-declared Dominion Emperor Arcturus Minx is causing all kinds of trouble as the power has clearly gone to his head. The Zerg have begun attacking colonies all over the universe, and Minx blames Raynor for some crazy reason. Anyway, Raynor gets pissed and decides to start a rebellion against the Dominion, and works with Tychus to collect the artifacts for Mobius so they can raise some money to form their own army to begin the revolution, and at the same time tries to figure out what's going on with the Queen of Blades, what she's up to, and why she's attacking colonies again. Later, Protoss Dark Templar badass Zeratul shows up offering Jim a vision into the past and future, providing some insight as to what the hell is really going on, and things start to really get interesting. I don't want to get too spoilery, so I'm going to leave it at that, but you're in for some surprises as you play through this bad boy. To sum it up, Raynor needs to overthrow Minx and stop the Zerg.
Because some things are just worth fighting for.
Without a doubt, you're going to get a lot of content for your money. I'm not even going to cover the multiplayer portion of this game. If you're looking for info on that, including tips, strategies, and the best commentaries on the net, you're going to want to check out HD and Husky Starcraft by clicking their links below, because that's their specialty and are going to let you know everything you'd ever want to know. Beyond that, the single-player campaign offers you 26 missions that should keep you occupied for at least 15 hours. In addition, there's a series of challenge missions that really teach you how to get good at StarCraft, including multiplayer techniques like how to hold off a rush. The campaign missions are very well designed, offering a variety of different gameplay mechanics beyond simply building a base and army to destroy your enemy's forces. In fact, some missions even have various outcomes that you'll have to decide upon that will actually affect how the remainder of the missions will play out for you. There are several difficulty levels and an elegant tutorial system so even the noobiest of the noobs can play, and there's an achievement system for each mission, some of which are actually pretty difficult to obtain. You'll likely have to play through the campaign several times to unlock them. On top of all this, you can set up custom games with you and your friends against the AI, or you can play with the extensive StarCraft Galaxy editor that allows you to create and share seriously awesome levels. I'm not going to cover this in my review, but believe me, those creative independent designers out there are going to create some wonderful content for the StarCraft community.
You scared me!
While the basic gameplay mechanics from the original StarCraft have not changed a bit, there are some interesting additions that you should be concerned with. First of all, you don't really have to worry about dealing with upgrades during the missions. Now there's a hub between the levels that lets you speak with the game's primary characters to get a lot more of the story and select which of a series of missions you'd like to tackle next, but more importantly, it allows you to upgrade and unlock new troops and research special upgrades via a tech tree. See, as you do missions for Mobius, you'll earn money, which can be spent directly on hiring mercenaries for the missions and upgrading units in the armory. Once you pay for a particular type of mercenary, they're available to hire several times per mission, and they're essentially elite units that deal extra damage and have extra health, plus they look way cooler than the standard units. The armory allows you to add uber powerful upgrades to buildings and units. All of the units from the original Starcraft are in the single-player campaign, in addition to all the new units the game provides. It's too bad that the classic units and all the uber-powerful upgrades you get from the armory aren't in the multiplayer, but it would simply be impossible to keep the game balanced otherwise. The hub also has a mini-game in the form of a shmup that was designed with the Starcraft Galaxy Editor, which really shows the power of the tool, allowing designers to create brand new games that aren't of the RTS genre. Finally, as you play the missions, you'll collect Protoss and Zerg technology, which can be spent in the hub laboratory to unlock powerful upgrades and new units. One in particular I found necessary to beat the final level of the game. There's no doubt that the graphics of the game have seen a significant overhaul over the original. That is, assuming you have a beefy enough computer to run the game on its ultra settings. On top of that, the game is chock full of beautiful, fully rendered cutscenes that will just blow your mind, and every single one of them, especially those near the end, are freaking epic. I've heard lots of comments from people who state that the graphics look dated and unimpressive, but they're just haters. This is Blizzard's iconic cartoony art style, and they look wonderful. In addition to the top-down gameplay style of the original, you can now zoom in on your units, giving you a completely new way to watch the battles as they unfold for you. The soundtrack is top-notch both in the cutscenes as well as the missions in the hub. There's even a jukebox in the hub that plays some pretty hilarious futuristic redneck Terran music. The voice actors for every single role, including the individual units of the game, are great as well. Starcraft 2 was in development for such a long time, and the game's presentation absolutely displays the time and, more importantly, care that were put into the detail. It's pretty obvious I'm a big fan of Blizzard games, so I hope my judgment hasn't been biased, but really, I don't care. My reviews are subjective anyway, so make up your mind for yourself based off of what I've shown you, whether or not this title will be good for you. Starcraft 2 is actually going to be 3 full-length feature titles, 1 campaign per race. A lot of people complain that they would be paying $180 then for a single game, but really that's not the case. The single-player campaign of Wings of Liberty alone is well worth the $60. It's a full-length game and a complete story all on its own, not to mention the extensive multiplayer system, challenge missions, and the massive Galaxy map editor, with all of the user-created content. It's too bad that all the awesome units and sweet upgrades of the single-player game aren't in the multiplayer, because it would be really interesting had the tech trees been involved. That way you wouldn't know what to expect from your opponent simply by knowing their race. Can you imagine having instant supply depots or a machine that slows down Zerg units in multiplayer? Overpowered? Perhaps, but totally kick-ass. Nonetheless, what do you all think? Are you as excited about StarCraft 2 as I am, or are you confused as to why the hell anyone would even want to play this? Leave your questions and comments below. Check out the full write-up, screenshots, and gameplay footage over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter, and check out my other channel, Zeitgeist Other, for gameplay footage. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.